Hi, welcome to the Learning Centre at JCU. We're going to have a look at passives. Passive is a certain way of constructing a sentence which is commonly used in scientific reports. To understand how to make a passive, you have to understand how a normal sentence works, and then you can see how to change it to a passive sentence. So let's look at an example sentence and note that it has three parts: the subject, the person or the thing doing the action, the verb, which is the action, and the object, which is the person or the thing that the action is done to. So if we look at our example sentence, the scientist combined the chemicals. The scientist is the subject. The scientist is doing the action. The scientist is combining. The chemicals are the object. The action is being done to them. The chemicals are being combined. And the verb in the middle is combine. The scientist combined the chemicals. A passive sentence changes the order of these elements. The subject moves from the beginning of the sentence to the end of the sentence. The verb stays in the middle, and the object goes at the beginning. So let's go back to our example sentence. Now we would have the chemicals were combined by the scientist. The object, the chemicals, the things that are being combined, moves to the start. The verb stays in the middle, and the subject goes to the end of the sentence. We haven't changed the meaning of what we're saying here at all. The chemicals are still the object. They're still the things being combined. The action is being done to them. Only now they're at the beginning of the sentence. The chemicals were combined by the scientist. Now, what's important with a passive sentence is that a passive sentence also lets you drop the subject. You don't need to keep the subject on the end of the sentence. We can simply say, the chemicals were combined. Now, at this stage, it's very reasonable to ask, why do we use passive sentences? Well, this ability to drop the subject is exactly why we use them. If you're describing a scientific experiment, what's important is the process of the experiment and the results of the experiment. Who's doing the experiment shouldn't matter, because it should be reproducible anywhere in the world by anybody who has the same equipment. Passive construction allows us to do this. It makes the sentence impersonal. It removes the subject, the person who's doing the thing, and puts all the focus on what's being done and what it's being done to. Okay, now it's your turn to practice making some passive sentences. So I'll give you some sentences, and I'd like you to try and make them passive. So pause the video and see how you go. How did you go? Here are the answers. The first sentence, the scientist filled the beaker. We'd switch it around, remembering to remove the subject, and we just have the beaker was filled. The second sentence would become 10,000 volts were passed through the lab assistant. The third sentence would become the resistance was measured, and the final sentence would become the specimen was tested. Okay, I hope this has been useful for you, and good luck with your assignments. Bye.